Okay, folks, I'd like to welcome you to another post-game conversation where you get to hear directly from Tribe football alums. For this episode, we have none other than James Johnson. How you doing, Mr. Johnson?
Doing well, Dante. Thanks for having me today.
I'm happy to have you on. I don't know if you know, but you're probably one of the youngest alums that we've had on. So I'm really excited about this. Nothing wrong with the older alums, but it's really cool to get a chance to interact with somebody that graduated more recent. And I mean more recent, within the last 10 years or so. Really enjoy catching up with you between on the phone and before we started recording. So let's get into it. So tell everybody what your major was, what position you played, and what year you graduated.
So I was an economics major, only because I didn't get into the business school, but still shout out to the new dean, Todd Moradian. Graduated in 2013 and actually went back for an MBA in 2018. I guess I forgot to mention that before. So yeah, that's what brought me where I am today.
And what position did you play?
I'm sorry, offensive line, left guard. Coach Solderitch tried to get me to play right, but never could get right with that. So
okay. I don't know anything about that, but okay. When we talked, you had a good story. I asked you, who were you recruited by? Give us a little bit about your journey to William and Mary from Georgia.
Yeah. So I was recruited by Coach David Corley, who a lot of you know or played with. He came and sat in my house, I would say late December of 2008. And I had a commitment already to Georgetown in the Patriot League. And I think at a face value, Georgetown looks good from an academic standpoint, but the football program, maybe not as much, or definitely not as much relative to William & Mary. And also at the time, the Laycock Center had just been built. And so I was able to tour that and see, the Brands make a new locker room on my visit. And so it didn't take long for me to change my mind, needless to say, and was able to sign with the Tribe that, I guess, February for signing day. So exciting times for sure.
That's awesome, man. I'm a little jealous because when most of us took our visit, they showed us the rendering and the model of the Laycock Center and told us it'll be done before you graduate. And that was like the little carrot that they dangled for a lot of us. And we're like, oh, this is great. And none of us
Still
saw
dressing
any
in the
inkling
visitors'
of
locker
that.
room.
The whole nine. But different time, man. So it's awesome, and we're really just appreciative that you chose William and Mary, and you're an awesome representative of William and Mary. While you were there, you were coached by, tell us about your experience from a football perspective, at least from you coached soldiers.
Yep. So, of course, the late, great Coach Solderitch, or Soldy as we called him, was my position coach. I did have the opportunity for him to come down to Georgia as well. And meet my family and sit in our home as well. And as he, I guess, quote unquote, checked me out and had me get into a couple offensive stances in my living room, which is classic Sodi, I'm sure, as many of you can account.
Awesome.
And so, but yes, it was an absolute pleasure to be coached by him. Definitely more hard love than other, but I think it all pays off down the road. If anything that I take with me from his learnings would be being a part of the AAA club, which is attitude, action, and accountability. Taking that with you, every single day, and the rest typically works out for you down the road.
That's awesome. So you took that attitude, action, and accountability upon graduating, and tell us about how your journey, at least, tell us about your journey with those AAAs.
Yeah. So I guess it's safe to say I was, even though this gentleman wasn't coached by Coach Solderitch, but had a very close relationship. I was able to work as an intern originally for another football alumnus, Joe Montgomery, and frankly learned everything I know today under his guidance and along with Bryce Lee. And so
Awesome.
I was able to have an internship coming out of my fifth year, my fifth season, I guess, and started working on my MBA actually, as well at the Mason School, and decided to go on. Well, I was able to get an opportunity to come on full time with Joe and team at that point as well, after about, I don't know, 8 to 10 months of an internship. And so, and I stayed there for over 8.5, I guess almost 9 years. And in Williamsburg and a bit of a portion in Richmond, and moved recently within the past 7 months back to Georgia, in Atlanta.
Back home. Yeah.
Yeah, back home. And so, and with a different firm. And so that's where I am now, Truist Wealth.
So talk to us a little bit about what you do at Truist Wealth.
So I am a wealth advisor, and my partner and I either manage and or advise on every financial aspect on both the business and personal balance sheets for our clients. So everything from private banking to investment management to trust and estate advice and management as well. We do the full financial picture for our clients.
That's amazing. Like I told you before, you have been blessed in a way that I was not blessed. I'm a tech guy, and so hats off to you and folks that do the business that you do.
Thank you.
As we round it out, anything you want to leave with the current players or alums?
I would say my biggest takeaway from William & Mary and just my overall experience as both a football player and a student on the college's campus would be my time away from my fellow teammates, which may come as no surprise. I think there's a lot of opportunity from a networking standpoint, clearly within the football alumni base. But I think the opportunity grows exponentially outside of it. And so I wouldn't be the one to say ignore your football alumni base, but I would also pay a lot of attention as you grow in your careers to the students, frankly, who walk amongst you on campus day to day. It's easy to, quote unquote, ignore them in your day to day because your schedule is completely different than theirs. And that's understandably okay. But if you just, maybe 1% extra here and there to pay attention to those that are around you who aren't affiliated with athletics, I think pays large dividends down the road. And so I would say put some, additional effort into the William & Mary community as a whole.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think your sphere of influence, I know that your sphere of influence dramatically impacts your success in whatever you're doing. And so, yeah, I mean, as much as we're building and nurturing a community here of football alums and a network, I think it goes without saying that, growing it and adding to it outside of that network is paramount as well. So that's amazing.
Yep.
Anything else you want to share?
That's it. Just be a part of the AAA club. I live and die by that to this day. And honestly, I really can't, stress the importance of the attitude portion because everyone around you may not have the same happy attitude every day, but as long as you take that with you, it will make your life a lot easier.
That is amazing. Yes, I totally agree. Well, James, this has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Again, I enjoyed just getting to know you. I think until maybe the playoff game, I had never even met you, man. And likewise. So, again, the power of the network, it's growing. And it's been a pleasure with the interview as well as getting to know you. And I look forward to, growing the relationship, man.
As do I. Thanks for the time, Dante, and thanks for reaching out and setting this up for me.
Thank you.